Do you feel stuck in life? Do you feel like you're just going around in circles, revisiting the same old situations and blocks? Do you want to change how your life is going to something better? You know the saying, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results is insanity. So if you want different results, you have to try something new. You can't expect your life to change by doing the same thing that you've always done. And that also goes for your mindset and belief system. So, can reframing your mindset open new doors to your future? Have you ever had certain beliefs that you've always held that now you're thinking that they just might be the ones that are holding you back? Well, in today's episode, we will be discussing why someone would want to change their mindset on a few things and the steps to take to achieve that. So stay tuned, and you just might be the next one to transform your life and unlock your full potential. Welcome to Rise and Transcend, your go-to podcast for personal growth and self-improvement. I'm your host, Michelle O'Donnell, and in this podcast, I'll share with you tools that have helped me deal with stress and overcome anxiety. Also, I'll help you shift your mindset so that you can shed those beliefs that are no longer serving you, so that you can live a happier, more peaceful life. I'm so happy that you're here. Let's dive in. From the time that we were infants, our parents, our grandparents, and family have been shaping our thoughts and beliefs, thereby influencing our future. We were taught that this was good and that was bad, or this is the right way and that is the wrong way, which might have served us well when we were with our families, but what happened when we went to school and started mingling with others? What happened to our minds and thoughts when we discovered that people were all kinds of color, that everyone didn't believe in God or church? When we went to our friends' houses, we discovered that not everyone has this pristine life. Their family might have been messy. Well, we might have quickly learned that things are muddled and gray and complicated. Did you experience these observations when you were growing up? Or was that just me? I've always been a deep thinker, even at a young age. I've always been observing and questioning the why of everything. So as you can see, you begin to question your beliefs right when you start getting a little freedom and your world expands. You are always evolving and changing, although it seems like it's slow going. But for the most part, we try like hell to stay the same. We don't like change and insist we stay in the same black and white mindset. It's just easier that way and familiar. But at some point, maybe you're in your 30s, your 40s, or maybe as late as your 50s, you go through some sort of crisis because we have been trying so damn hard to make our beliefs work in this world and in our life. Has it felt like a struggle or a fight for you? It certainly was for me. Is it the same for men? I wonder. I'm sure it is to some extent. But for women, we go through so many changes. It starts even way before puberty when we have hormones and our bodies are changing. It starts long before that. We have our mothers explaining to us how to act like a proper lady and how not to act around boys or men. We're expected to be nice, understanding, helpful, how to prance around men, avoiding their attention, but to make them happy always. How to take care of the house, the children, our parents, the neighbors, our friends, our community. Take care of everything and everyone. We are taught to not be too loud and don't get too excited, and God forbid, don't get mad and yell. We must stuff our feelings and rage down until one day it comes bubbling up in an uncontrollable yell, and we lose it. Or are we finally breaking free and questioning things? Like, is it really so that I can't get mad? Is it really so that I'll go to hell if I'm not perfect? Is it really true that I have to keep this house spotless in case Jesus comes to visit? Do I really have to work all damn day and come home and keep this house spotless too? Why the hell is society set up this way? Why did my grandmother insist on telling me I'm going to hell for painting my nails red? Why are we living in this hellish earth only to die and be judged again? Haven't I been judged enough, damn it? Can't I just be me? Please? Yes, I used to be plagued by rigid, unmovable ideas and beliefs inherited from my parents and grandparents. Religious ones at that. My grandmother was very religious and firmly believed in God, heaven, hell, punishment, and a reward in heaven. And she firmly believed in keeping separate from the world and passing her beliefs onto the next generation to keep it all in the line of the family. I was taught along with my sisters that the United States was the greatest country in the world. There was no other place quite like ours in our freedom. Serving God was the only way to salvation, or to hell you will go and burn in the lake of fire for eternity. I was taught that the only way to make money was to go to work for somebody else. And that if you wanted to make your own money, if you had any idea on making your own money and making your own way, that is just not going to work. And they had all kinds of reasons of why that is going to fail. And then they also taught us that money was evil. Very, very evil. I was taught that busyness was good, and that keeps the devil from getting you. Of course, I was also taught that you must have done something bad and are being punished if you had hard times. Oh, who was right? All so confusing, even when I got older. Eventually, I cracked from my depression, anxiety, and panic attacks. There was a time when I couldn't sleep because the demons were roaming the house at night, ready to snatch us and possess us and torment us. Even in my 30s, this was my torment at night. And I insisted that my grandmother, my pious grandmother, was correct, and everything she taught me is true. So God, it's true. I just have to try harder. I have to have more faith. I have to love God more. These ideas have affected my whole life, and not for the good. It caused a feeling of unworthiness, not being good enough, not deserving, an impossible standard of perfection and righteousness that I could never live up to. The devil and his minions were around every corner, ready to catch you in a position to torture you, because that was their favorite pastime. My questions were never answered. Everything was a mystery. Even though I wanted very much to be God's child, it was apparent that I just could never live up to it. Believe me, I tried several times. Somewhere in my 40s, I was ready to leave it all behind because I finally realized that it was causing me depression and anxiety and stress. The moment I stopped fighting and letting in that natural goodness of nature, as soon as I began letting that flow into me, is when it all changed. Let's take a quick break to hear from our sponsor of this podcast, Our Sanctuary, my monthly membership program that offers support, mindfulness practices, and tools to handle everyday life and stress. In today's fast-paced, stress-filled, technology-driven world, it's easy to feel disconnected from both mind and body. Our membership program is designed to bring balance back into your life, offering weekly themes, video messages, affirmations, tips, journaling, meditation, breathwork, and most importantly, a supportive community. Join my monthly membership program, Our Sanctuary, to reconnect, heal, and thrive every day. Visit my website at michelleodonnell.net/our-sanctuary. Can't wait to see you there. Welcome back. We are just going to get into how it is indeed possible to change our mindset and unlock true greatness in ourselves. Ridding myself from these rigid ideas that kept me stuck and small was not easy. It was a process, but I assure you that it can be done. I know because it happened to me. Do you finally want to be free from the thoughts that keep you a prisoner? Do you want to enjoy life and just be you? Do you want to have your own ideas that actually propel you forward to your dreams? What if you were in the flow of the universe? How would that feel? Would that feel like freedom, exquisite happiness, and finally at peace with yourself and your past? It will happen if that is your intention, and if you keep on trying and never give up. Changing your belief system and your mindset is a transformative journey. Here are some steps that might help you. Number 1, awareness. Start by identifying your current beliefs. Pay attention to thoughts that frequently arise and examine their origins. It might be helpful to have a notebook and have some subjects on there, like, what do I think about money? What does success look like for me? What do I feel about the government? About religion? Is anything that I have been taught throughout my life in conflict with how I actually feel? Number 2, question things. Challenge these beliefs and ask yourself, why do you hold them? And whether they truly reflect reality, or are they based just on assumptions or what you've always been taught? Number 3, open-mindedness. Be open to new information and perspectives. Seek out different viewpoints and experiences to expand your understanding. And this is so very, very important. And it's one that in today's world, people fail to do. They insist that their opinions on a certain thing is the correct one, and they have every right to have them, no matter what evidence is put in their face. And sometimes it's just baffling. I mean, when I'm in a conversation with somebody and then they bring up different points that I never thought to consider, I find it fascinating. I'm like, wow, I really have to look into that point of view, or I must look that up. And I do. And there are times when I definitely have changed my mind on a few things. So therefore, I expanded my perspective. I got a different viewpoint. But most people refuse to do that. So kudos to you if you do. Number 4, reflection. Spend some time reflecting on how your current beliefs affect your life. Consider whether they help you grow or do they hold you back. Like money. Money is evil. Does that prevent you from getting a higher paying job because you'll be put in the category of bigwigs or these ruthless managers? I know that used to be my problem because that was like very intimidating to me. I realized that was one of my limiting mindsets, that everybody that is in a higher position than me was my enemy for various reasons. Maybe that's a whole nother podcast. And sometimes it still is that way, but I am trying to break out and do things on my own, because on my own is what I really, really, really want to do. I don't want to go up the ladder anymore. In my mid-50s, I no longer have a desire to get a better paying job. I mean, I want more money, believe me. But I'm not going up that ladder and working for somebody else. It's me time. It's time to do what I want to do, even though so many people in my family knocked me down for my ideas and told me how impossible things were. I have changed my mindset and I'm going to do it no matter what. Number 5, visualization. Imagine the person that you want to become and the beliefs that align with that vision. Visualization can help you solidify your commitment to change. Visualization is so very important because you have to believe that things can change. You have to firmly believe and imagine how your life would be to achieve your goal so that you can believe that it is possible, that it has already happened. And if you keep visualizing this, the universe is going to take notice and your mindset is going to be changed of onto that vision. Number 6, affirmations. Use positive affirmations to reinforce new beliefs. Repetition can rewire your thinking patterns over time. Now, there are some people who think that affirmations don't work, but if you don't start making positive statements to yourself, how are things going to change? How is your brain going to be rewired? There are scientific studies that confirm that these tools do rewire our brain and form new pathways and new sets of thinking. So it is very effective. But of course, it doesn't happen instantaneously. It will take time, and you can't just visualize and just do affirmations. These 6 steps that I am explaining to you is all entwined together. You have to do it all. And then, not only do you have to do this, but there are 3 other key things that you have to do, and that is called practice, patience, and support. You have to keep implementing these small steps that align with your new beliefs. You have to be consistent in this practice. That is going to help you integrate your beliefs into your daily life. And my mother always says, practice makes perfect. She is right about that. So not everything that our parents teach us is wrong. You take the good and leave the bad. And one thing that my mother did stress in us is trying again, practicing, getting better, memorizing things. If something went wrong in our life, we talked about how we could have made it better. And in the next situation, how can things go better? So I'm very, very thankful for my mom. And believe it or not, my grandmother too. So not only do we have the practice, and along with that comes patience, because it does take time. You have to be patient with yourself because these things are unnatural for us, and you have to be patient with your mind, with your brain. Be patient with yourself because you're not perfect. You're not going to get it right the first time. You're going to have to try and try and try again. And each time your knowledge is going to expand, which helps even more. And number 3, support. Surround yourself with people who are going to support your new beliefs and encourage your growth so that you don't revert back to your old ways. Engage in communities that share similar values. And that is why I have created my membership program, Our Sanctuary. It is a sanctuary for us women to have a women's group where we can go to for support, not only in helping us relieve our anxiety and our depression and help each other out, but you will also find your true self and the way you truly think about things and what you truly want out of life, because that is what meditation will do for you. Being still with yourself and quiet with your own mind and listening to your inner self is so healing, and it's so insightful, and it is so, you just feel connected to the universe and connected to your higher self, and connected to the earth, and you stop believing in separateness. We are all connected, and women especially need to start supporting other women and stop judging them and figure out why exactly you are judging them. That will reveal a lot in finding out how you tick and why you react this way or that way, or why do you accept this person but not this person, and why do you let certain people, like men, why are you more lenient with men than you are with women who did the same exact thing, or something that wasn't even as serious as that? Why would you accept one over the other? And especially at this time in our political system, that is going to be key to getting through this. Stop and consider why you are so judgmental of a certain person. You don't even know these candidates personally, and instead you're just going to judge their outward appearance, or you're going to judge because they were just a little bit slow in their response, or they got fumbled with their words. Well, ask yourself this: how would you be if you were up there being grilled by Donald Trump? Wouldn't you get a little bit flustered up there? I know I would. I mean, even in this podcast, I get jumbled up. And then a certain candidate is only 3 years younger than the other one. But now he's dropped out. So, and now we have a woman who's running again. And already on the internet, you're hearing how even women are not going to stand with her. Ask yourself why. I certainly have. I've looked up her credentials. I don't see anything alarming, but I do see something alarming in somebody else. So why would you accept it from that person, but not this person? So that is a very important question that everybody needs to delve into, especially when so much is on the line. We certainly do not want Project 2025 to come to fruition. Some things in it might seem good, but there are so many alarming things in that document. And you can argue all you want that Trump doesn't have anything to do with it, but there's so much evidence that points to yes, he is involved in that. And they will influence him because they certainly have done it to Reagan. They even admit to, in that document, that in the Reagan era, 60% of their ideas were adopted by Reagan. He got them pushed through. So you better believe that this is a threat. So it's better to stop a threat now than to try to reverse it after it's already happened. And women, we need to stand up and support women. Let's figure out how we can change our mindset on things. So how do we change our mindset again? We have to become aware. We have to question. We have to have an open mind. We have to reflect on things. Visualize the future that you want and change and rewire your brain. Start with this. Do some affirmations. If you have to, say women are just as worthy as a male. A woman in power is just as worthy. Remember to practice, to have patience with yourself, gather people that support you, and also give to others. Support other women. This is how we are going to change ourselves, our families, our community, the world, and the future. So let's get to work. See you next Monday. Thank you for joining me on this episode of Rise and Transcend. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, comment, and leave a review. Keep your spirits high, your mind sharp, and never stop chasing those dreams. See you next Monday.